That looks like a hatchet that's about to chop up my voice.
That's right. Oh.
Am I on? I'm definitely not wanting to be on camera.
You're not. The camera is on this right here.
Okay.
So like when I'll show you when I sit to draw or whatever. Because I have that, definitely, oh, we're not doing, that's so funny. Education. So I'll have the recording so that, I can listen to it, and what I'll do is have something on here. I was printing out some of my notes from coaching, and I was reading through this.
How far have you gotten in?
Not far.
I figured.
Not far.
Once you get,
I'll be perfectly honest with you. But I'm at a point where I'm starting to get more.
Yeah, right. So it's like that, and I've got to get a computer working again because it's been 2.5 years now that I haven't been able to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I've rewritten it mentally. I mean, I can't do it on a computer until I get my computer working again.
Right.
So I have a lot of revamping to do. I just basically need to take a lot of the first 4 pages and put them back in a different part of the story.
Okay. So, okay, the story about the...
Okay,
so now you know what I intend to do with this.
Yeah.
And, yes.
So are we on live now?
Beautiful.
Are we on live channel, whatever?
No, I have not gone live. It is recording though, because this thing has the capability. I don't know if it... Sometimes the internet connection here is like kind of wonky.
Mm-hmm.
But I have at least the page down there of someone with some introspective questions or what have you. But yeah. And you were talking about the
song.
The song.
All right, are we ready to go?
Oh yeah, we're ready to go because it's recording. So
okay.
Whatever goes live when it goes live.
So I'm rolling.
Yes.
Okay. This.
Thank you.
This is. I consider this song when I hear it. It reminds me of one of the, I don't know what to call it. It's like there's certain stations in my life, certain posts, if you will, to grab onto. That
I call them save points.
What do you call them?
Save points.
Save points.
Right.
Okay.
At certain transitional times in my period, I'll visit a Waffle House. That's like a save point.
Isn't that interesting? I have a thing about Waffle House myself.
Okay, but go ahead.
But anyway, so here we are on this Chopin, Opus number 1 in G minor. When I was 16, for 5 months, I was practicing the piano 6 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't realize at the time, it was only about a few months ago, and I'm 79 years old, that it occurred to me that my piano teacher was grooming me for the concert stage. I never realized that. I didn't want it anyway. I mean, you know, that's why I'm sure I didn't realize it, but
right.
but for me, it was just, I'd been playing the piano since I was 5. I liked it. I didn't like having to practice a whole lot, but I did have a very, I had a good piano teacher. She was a friend of my mother's from Arkansas way back in the dark ages. And but anyway, so this is in Albany, New York. You know, here they're both, you know, all there.
Mhm.
So, anyway, so back to the end of my junior year in high school, in May, right around the end of the year, she wanted me, my piano teacher wanted me to go into this competition. I thought, okay, no big deal. It was a competition they were having in Albany. The competition was actually at it was in the History and Art Albany.
Okay.
And so anyway, I thought, okay, so I hated recitals and that kind of thing, but I thought, who cares, just do it. I had no idea what the prizes were, that they were giving out prizes or anything.
You just knew it was a competition?
It was a competition, and it was for anybody up to the age of 36. There weren't, I would say we didn't have anybody in their 30s or upper 20s even, but so it was whatever you played or whatever you sang, whatever,
Okay.
violin, trumpet, whatever, who cares. And there were quite a few people playing the piano. But anyway, and so my teacher had me go in there with a prelude and fugue from Bach. Now, had you ever heard of anybody winning a great musical competition by a prelude and fugue from Bach?
Right.
And so it happens that I was studying pipe organ with a certain pipe organist in town. He was one of the three people one of the three, I call them referees, the people judging the competition. So that when it was my turn to play, he took himself out. He recused himself, so it was just the other two. But he was still sitting next to one of the other two. And he said this other guy made the comment when I first started out playing this Bach prelude. I'm going to ignore my phone. This other guy made the comment, she'll never make it to the end. Because he thought I was just playing. I could never hold the speed that I was playing it at. But by the time I got to the end of the prelude, which is only 2 pages of music, he put on his paper, my teacher told me this, he put on his paper number 1 and circled it. In other words, first place. Well, I hadn't even played the fugue yet, and I went on and played the fugue, and he didn't change his assessment. And so I found out about that later on, and I thought that was humorous. I did win the competition. I took first prize in piano. There was no second prize, no third prize. They did give an honorable mention in piano, and then they gave a first prize to a girl who played the clarinet just beautifully. So we had 2 first prizes. And that's when I found out what the first prize was. Not a blue ribbon you hang around your neck. It was to give a concert at the Albany Institute of History and Art on October the 15th. This is May. Beginning or middle of May. So it's 5 months of time to practice up to give this major concert at the Albany Institute of History and Art.
Oh, wow.
And I'm 16 years old.
Was that it? Doing the concert?
Yeah.
Did you get paid for the concert?
I was playing the concert.
I said, did you get paid?
Oh, no.
To play the concert.
The concert that was my pay. Actually, for getting first prize, we each got $15. 15. I mean, this is back in, however old, what?
Back in your day.
1960. It's like, whatever, 06 or something.
Not 06. 6 right? Oh my gosh.
But anyway, so we each got a $15 check, which was a lot of money in those days, and the big prize was to give this concert. So my teacher and her teacher got together, and the first part of the concert, she was playing clarinet pieces. The second part of the concert, I was playing piano pieces. And the third part, those were small. The third part of the concert was that we combined to play a Bach, I guess it was a sonata for clarinet and piano. It was written for clarinet and piano.
Oh, wow.
And it's one of those things I used to love with piano, where the piano is not an accompanist. It's like the piano is one of the major parts, and the other thing is major part 2, and you're just weaving in and out with each other, and it's beautiful.
Nice.
Anyway, it was a good thing. But for those 5 months between May and October,
Mhm.
I was practicing 6 hours a day because my normal was 2 hours a day.
Mhm.
And I don't know when I started doing the 2 hours a day, but anyway, by this time, I mean, for this concert, I was doing 6 hours a day. When the school started in September, I was my senior year in high school, and so I was doing my senior year classes plus going home and practicing 6 hours a day. Had the concert, and it was fine. Now, when it was all over with, I was thinking, yay, it's over with, it's done with. What I didn't know was, because of the concert, the DAR wanted me to play for the DAR, and so then I had to learn a whole lot of little American songs to play American songs for the DAR.
Okay.
Got that done. Then I think it was the American Association of Monday Music Clubs or something like that. It was an association of music teachers from all over the United States. They were having their annual conference in Albany that year.
Okay.
Guess who they picked to play, to be their, they were meeting Friday and Saturday.
Wow.
I was the Friday pianist, and then the Saturday pianist was playing at the governor's mansion. And all of us, including me, still 16, I got a blue typewriter ribbon. There were no computers in those days.
Right.
It was ordinary typewriters, but this one was typed with a blue typewriter ribbon. I had never seen that before. It was an invitation to come to the governor's mansion. By invitation of Mrs. Nelson Rockefeller, because he was governor at the time. And she was a great patron of the arts. And so she invited all this whole musical convention to come to the governor's mansion. And that other gal was going to play at that time, so I was off the hook then. But on the Friday day of the conference, we were not at the governor's mansion. We were someplace in Albany, I don't remember where it was, but anyway, wherever probably some big hotel, but wherever it was, I was the pianist of the day. That was the song I played. That was the song I played. And I went through life, so much of my life, thinking, I just can't do anything wrong. I just, this is wrong. But every day of my life that I went to school or that I sat at the piano or whatever it was always, I have to do better today than I did yesterday. Now, I was getting straight A's in school. And obviously, I knew something about playing the piano. But I did not play like Arthur Rubinstein, I can tell you that much. I mean, he's Mr. Genius. But I obviously played well enough for them to want me to play that day.
Yes.
So, I look back on that and I think, wow, I must have been better than I thought I was. But it was always not good enough for me. I always had to be better. This is better than yesterday, but I've got to be better tomorrow. And so, anyway, where was I? I interrupted myself so many times I have to go back a few minutes.
Man, the concert started off a convention tour in the governor's mansion and playing that day.
So I was playing all the way through this song. Now, mind you, when you're in a concert like this, you don't have music in front of you. The music is 10 miles away in my house out in the country. And I'm playing this piece all the way through until just before the last 2 pages of music. You know how this song kind of slowed down and then it speed up and it slowed down, speed up, and fast and slow and fast and slow and loud and soft and loud and soft and all this. There's this little certain place just before the grand finale of the song. And Chopin does this. I mean, he did this all the time. He would have some of these beautiful tunes you've ever heard, and beautiful lyric music, and then at the very end, just a firestorm. And just before the firestorm, there was this pause, and there's a certain little thing I had to do, fingering of the right hand just coming down slowly. If you didn't get the fingering right, you'd play the wrong notes. It was just one of those things. And I was always so afraid that when I got to that place, I was going to do it wrong. Well, guess what I did?
You did it wrong?
Exactly.
Yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy.
Self-fulfilling prophecy, exactly. I
Yeah.
did it wrong,
Mhm.
and I had no way to back up and go into that last piece, which was a firestorm. I couldn't get into it. There was no way. Here's everybody sitting out there, and I just took my hands off the keys and put them in my lap. And I sat there and I thought for a minute, and I was picturing the music in my mind,
Mhm.
thinking, where can I go back to? Where can I pick this up? And I found the place. I'm seeing the music in my mind. I found the place where I could pick it up again. And
Mhm.
so I wiped my very sweaty hands off on my pink dress. I mean, it's a wonder my hands didn't slide off the piano keys.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, so I wiped them off and put my hands back on the keys. Started where I picked up, played the fingering just right, got into the firestorm, yada 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 yada, all the way to the end of the concert, and the place came unglued. And after the whole meeting was over with, and of course I had to sit them through the whole rest of the meeting, at the end of it, so many people came up to me, and they were just all basically, in one way or another, saying the same thing. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. That was just great. You know, and so,
Right.
And that, like I said, I don't. What did you say? When I called it a post, what did you call it? It's one of
Safe
those
points.
safe points.
Yeah, transitional points in life or what have you.
I look back at that as one of the best things I ever did in my life. Not that I played this song anywhere near as well as Arthur Rubinstein.
But that you collected yourself.
Yeah. And I didn't give up and run off the stage screaming. Yeah.
Would that have been more embarrassing?
I mean, it was the worst nightmare.
And these were musicians, right?
Everybody. They're all music teachers.
Right. Okay, so oh my God, this is like the biggest exam ever.
The biggest thing in the whole wide world.
You are in front of oh my gosh.
And I passed it with a better grade than I would have had if I had just played the song all the way through to the end. I passed it because of that mistake. And I think I think that had a lot to do with the rest of my life, because from that point on, I mean, I still played the piano for a few years after that, but I don't remember ever having that kind of fear again.
Good.
I think it just didn't, after that, I don't know how to describe it. It's just I don't remember ever having that overriding fear that I'm going to mess this up now. Just, if I play it, I play, you know.
Right.
And
I can definitely identify with that kind of pressure or what have you. Can I share something?
Go ahead. Your turn.
So, I told you that this is kind of what I consider like a Holy Ghost moment, and I've talked about times where I've said stuff that I don't know where it came from. It comes through me. I'm not necessarily in control of it. I just notice myself saying some profound things at times, and I can look back on some points in my life where I've just felt like this profound presence speaking through me. And one time, I used to host the family reunion banquet for my father's mother's family, and I took great pride in that. I was like, that was my familial obligation. If I can get up there to do it, I'm gonna be there. And there was one time that I was standing up there, and I'm looking around, and I felt something, and I heard myself speaking, but I was not the one moving my mouth. And I said something about, in life you need the light and the dark. Some of the things that we talk about or whatever, it is the absence of light that makes us appreciate its presence, and vice versa. It's the cycle of life or whatever, the yin and yang. And It's like I have found that in circumstances where I felt supremely judged
Mm-hmm.
and unworthy,
Yep.
that my inner it like will trigger my inner knowing that takes control, and I start moving or what have you. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to break back into,
Sure.
like somewhere like that inner knowing has gotten like crusted over with doubt, because I remember what it felt like to have it, and I don't have that feeling, but I still know. So it's kind of like, all right, I know, I accept, I believe, I see it, I feel it in the memory aspect of it, or what have you, and I know that there are times when I put myself in situations where judgments, like it's one of my gifts. I trigger people's judgment. Whenever I'm the princess, the royalty of bad first impressions, or what have you. And then, but one of my skills is I don't ever go with my first impression. I go with my heart. And hence, it has caused me to love a lot of people that did not love themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And as I examine those relationships, I have to ask myself, like, okay, what I make promises to people and I keep them. What promises am I making to myself? And then when I have examined my understanding of God's promise, or what have you, because I've said for you, you always have what you need. Three things: life, breath, and free will.
Life, breath, and free
Right. What you do with it is entirely up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But those three things are the basis of everything in the thought kingdom. Until you have carried your own water, until you have had to create something from absolutely the wheat in the field all the way to bread.
Yeah, yeah. I love that analogy.
And so it's like, not hashtag not dead, grateful to be alive, not dead. Like there are certain moments where, because it's so, another comes to mind. I was in Alabama, black woman, doing roadshow sales. I travel around a lot by myself. And I'm at this Walmart demonstrating this cleaning product called the Amazing Whippet. The irony is not lost on me.
The Amazing Whippet.
The Amazing Whippet. It was a fun presentation. I cleaned some carpets and glass, just crack jokes and whatnot. And like when I was in there having fun, I was killing it because I used the product. And part of my spiritual practice is when I get a clean something. So I'm just talking about how I use this product. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I understood the way that they wanted to communicate, and it's like the sales part was the part that I was rushed through, and I need to slow myself down. That's been the message of late. Just slow down.
Yeah.
Relax.
Definitely.
Okay, come on. So I finished doing the demonstration. It was really fun. There was a good multicultural mix and whatnot. And as I said, I forget sometimes that I'm black because somebody reminds me. But black people do on a level scare me because I feel like I don't understand them.
Really?
So I do now. So like I do now. Thank you, God. Hallelujah. For these experiences that have given me.
Have you always felt that way?
Well, I don't know. I just know that when as I'm examining my relationships, my interactions with other people, I've noticed that, black men scare, because it is when they get mad. So, and because I'm afraid of my own righteous indignation and whatnot, I know by the time I'm upset, it is because it's something worth being upset about. To me, at least. Because we know what matters to me matters to me. At any rate, finish the presentation. We have a good time passing out the products. It's $29.99 or whatever. thank you, enjoy, passing it out to the folks. And it's a table in front of me like this. People are still there. And this white man comes up to the table and he slaps his hands down. The Holy Ghost says, I need to pray with you right now. And I kind of look at him and I'm like, okay. He says his prayer or what have you and I listen. And I'm like, okay. And then my inner knowing kicked in and I spoke.
What did you say?
That is a really great question.
You don't know?
I have to see if I can remember but I have to go to the memory. That my mom and shaman kicked in, where I was like, all right, thank you for, saying what you've had to say. And God's promise, what I just said to you, that you have free will, three things: life, breath, and free will. Whether or not it's the will to succeed or will to fail, it depends on your prior programming. And I finished what I had to say, and I just kind of stood there and looked at him. And I heard people go, amen, 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 amen. We having church over here in Walmart, and I was just like, okay.
They were amening what you said.
They were amening what I said. So that was just kind of one of the, and it was like, I was not afraid, nor was I embarrassed, but I gave the response that one who knows how to hold themselves together in that type of circumstance would say to someone and put them right level with me. So, be easy to look up to or down on anyone but for the grace of the Most High. His choices and whatnot. You never know what choices a person was dealing with when they made what options they were dealing with when they made a particular choice, and the choices that people make when they are afraid are the best ones that they can think of, and not necessarily the best ones for them.
Definitely, definitely.
So, and that is what I'm learning to release attachment to, and as I'm doing my best to make better choices, like, for myself. But it's just like, okay, that was just kind of a glimpse into knowing that I can say what I have to say with honor and respect. I didn't cuss and whatnot. I was at work though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I am a professional. Like, when I am at work.
I totally.
But that's the thing that I like about being an intuitive reader, though, because when I channel messages, it's just what comes out the way that it comes out. And if your Uncle Bobby cusses, guess what? You're probably going to hear cuss something the way Uncle Bobby said it. So, and that I was like, and that's very freeing because I don't have to think about it. I'm just like, okay, something's coming through, and whatever comes to mind comes out, and it's just like, okay. If you're offended, I ask forgiveness or whatever, but more often than not, if they're sitting in front of me, it's because they want to hear what I have to say. So, I'm just like, all right. It's just like, Lord, why can't I just trigger that all the time?
Well, no.
So, just to live in that state of fire, though, you just burn out at some point, because you're just so wound up or whatever. And I've seen the guy a couple of times since that interaction or what have you. So I went to him later because I said my piece, he said his, he walked away or whatever, and I went to him later on, and I asked because I saw him see me. This is how interesting my awareness is. So I saw him see me, and I saw him do his nose like that, and I was like, okay. So I went to him and I asked him what was his thought. What do you think? And he kind of sheepishly, like, he didn't acknowledge it or whatever. And my intuition, which at the time, my intuition has been pretty beefy since I came back from Texas. And that's just because of the challenges of discernment or lack thereof that I experienced during that or whatever. But told me that it was probably something he would be embarrassed to admit. So, and fear, envy, shame, and regret. Those are how the devil controls you. and it keeps you bound up because you end up connecting to that judgment without looking for it within yourself, whatever. So at this point, it's a weeding out process of fear, envy, shame, and regret. Okay, what am I afraid of? What am I envious of?
Envy?
Yes.
Shame or regret.
Yeah, the 4 drunken monkeys of the apocalypse. That's like refer to them. You know what I'm saying?
I've got to remember this because you're right. Fear, envy, shame, and regret.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, the 4 monkeys of the apocalypse.
4 drunken monkeys of the apocalypse. And in the personal development arena, there's an expression called monkey mind, where your mind is just all over the place. And it's usually doubt that's kind of like creeping in or what have you. And that's how doubt gets in, carried by the 4 drunken monkeys, fear, envy, shame, and regret. So.
And when it enters you talk real fast.
Okay.
Your voice gets low.
Mm-hmm.
You talk real fast, so it's hard to hear anything you're saying.
I think I'm afraid of what. Okay. Thank you. I'm so great. See, and this helps me so much. You have no idea. Like, yeah.
So it's just when that impulse is there, to just kind of talk it all out real fast and be done with it. Just slow down, breathe, talk slowly, and get your point out. And then you will know more about what you're saying. Right. So will everybody around you.
Right. Got it. So yeah, that's how we end up like giving our freedom away or disempowering ourselves because of our thoughts. And when you turn, fear into faith, envy into appreciation, you release shame because your experiences, what you went through, is part of your ministry or whatever. Hey, George. Hello. And then regret is like, if you don't regret anything, you did the best you could, and everybody else is too. If you can do that for a child, you can do that for an adult because you don't know what that person has been through. Just because someone's body is a certain size, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to see something the same way that you do.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
So, and see, the thing is, we marginalize children so much that I respect children because I was disrespected a whole lot as a child. Yeah. And so much of what I saw and observed was right, but I was talked out of it. So I listen to children, and that's why they react to me the way that they do, because they know people can tell when they're seen. Mm-hmm. Yep. Children too, they're a lot more aware than we give them credit for. Yep. So, but like, yeah, you turn regret into wisdom. What did I learn from that experience? What did that show me? What lesson or blessing is that, from my life experience? And you tell me, like, you're a touring concert pianist? I really need to get on you about getting that dagnab keyboard down now. Okay, I want to hear some doodle doodle doodle.
No, that's when the Parkinson's took over and I was losing control of my right hand. Mm-hmm. I used to love going up to the Walkertown Library and using that grand piano. It was just so wonderful. It was just, for me, it was a break from the rest of life. Mm-hmm. And I just enjoyed doing that. But when I got to where it was not only that I had that kind of weakness in my hand and arm, but I like to create my own chords for different pieces of music. Mm-hmm. I couldn't make the chords anymore that I wanted to create. It was something was happening mentally too, because when I would hear the music in my head, I couldn't create it on the piano anymore. I just couldn't make those sounds, and I thought, wow, I used to do this, now I can't do it. And it was kind of shameful to me. And so that was when I had another friend at the house one day working on the mess of everything, she was taking some things up to her house to put in storage for me. And she said, you want me to wrap this piano up? And I said, yeah, go ahead. So she wrapped it up in a quilt and put it up on the top bookshelf, which was nice for the time being because it got it out of the way. And not only that, but it kind of um, took my, I guess I'll say took my shame away, because I couldn't play it if it was up there on top of the bookcase.
It's coming down this month though, ma'am. You gotta get that thing down.
But if it comes down, I am gonna have to have something to put it on, because I used to have a big dresser, actually in my living room. I was holding a lot of stuff, but anyway, the piano sat on top of that dresser. And now it's way up on top of this bookshelf. I'm gonna have to have a place to put it before I can come down. But
thank you, God, for provision. A place to put that keyboard.
Yeah.
Is on its way and manifesting as we speak. Thank you, God.
So did I tell you? I think I did. Didn't I tell you about? I'm not sure. About one of the 3 authors of Parkinson's for Dummies who was a surgeon.
Yes.
Okay, and he had to give up his surgery, whole practice, and spend his whole life on it, which just really, that impacts my feelings toward him. And I was, how wonderful of you to get in on authoring this book. But the very fact that he started taking piano lessons then, because he couldn't be a surgeon anymore.
Right.
I mean, and my feeling was, I can't play the piano anymore. I can't play. I can't do it.
So what thought is that you have on repeat?
I don't know, but when I found out that the guy who used to be a surgeon can't be a surgeon anymore, he can play the piano. I thought, oh yeah, okay.
See, that is the lesson, the message in that story for me is to understand that stop comparing yourself to a version of you that you are no longer, and understand that the version of you that you can become can still sit at the piano. And play, just like I believe it is possible for you to get back to that skill level, but you have to know that it's possible for you to take that T off of that can't.
The T off of
I
can. I like that.
Do it. And okay, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I can do this. I can do this. And hype yourself up for everything that you can do. I'm telling you, if my brother had taught me and my twin sister how to wash dishes, do laundry, or whatever, we'd be freaking billionaires by now, because he taught us about stage presence.
Stage presence. How did your brother know this?
He went to school. He went to Temple University for broadcasting, and he was. I mean, he's got a face. He has a face for television, but he's been on the radio for for 40 years.
Has he really? No kidding.
Yeah.
What station? What program?
Kiss 107.7 FM. He does the Saturday Night House Party. His name is Jay McCrae.
Jay McCrae. Was it so McCrae? Was that your?
No, that was a name that he met. It was again, we like made up names as our pseudonyms. You know what I'm saying?
So what was your maiden name?
My Nixon. No relation.
Oh, so Nixon is.
Nicole Nixon.
So you took that back.
Yeah. I was Nixon Purvis for like 12 seconds. Just enough to get on the family reunion program, but by the following year that I dropped that name.
Purvis.
So, yeah.
That's interesting, because I have a friend who married a Purvis, and she's been a Purvis ever since. But where does that name come from anyway?
That is a great question. I don't have the answer to. Like, his people were tough. I mean, I thought I come from tough love. Nope. Yeah. So and understanding my observations of his family, I started to realize some of the things that I did playfully were triggering the shit out of him.
Really?
But he loved, honored, and respected me enough not to ever take it out on me. But because he never said anything, it becomes a shadow.
Now, are we talking about your brother? Or
ex-husband.
Your
Ex-husband.
husband. Your husband.
But so it's like when I like to joke around and talk shit, obviously. I mean, that's why I'm in so much trouble the majority, air quotes, trouble the majority of the time, because I'm playful. And we were talking about, wanting to have more children, and I knew that I wasn't healthy enough. And I was like pushing for something when we got married or whatever. And still carry myself with confidence, honey.
Mm-hmm.
And we would work out together, and I would like joke around and but like low key complain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he eventually just, I mean, it just kind of it just sucked all the fun out of it for him. It made it fun for me, but it did not make it fun for him. But because his family was so critical, so critical.
Was this your first husband?
Yes, the only one that I've had. Like I've had my daughter's dad, and of course my son's dad, and who he acknowledged recently that he still feels some type of way that I got married. And like, you chose him over me. I was like, no, that was not. Like, you were not in the picture. Like, I had explained to him years before we are not getting back together. And it was not until I married someone that he finally like accepted that.
Wow.
But it still pissed. And he's years later. I mean, I do know where Tim is now, but like, I haven't seen him in years. Like, I don't even think about him. But for him to, in conversation with me, bring him up lets me know that he's still carrying in that.
So he's the father of which one?
Andrew is the Asher and Anderson, my boys.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was looking at pictures of them from when they were little. Asher's been smaller than Anderson since.
Really?
Yeah, for like 1 or 2 inches. I was looking at pictures like for since Asher was like 7.
Mm-hmm.
Anderson was taller than him.
Uh-huh.
So Asher was right here and Anderson was right here, and I had on my favorite purple star house coat and whatnot, and I was looking at the picture and I was remembering what I was thinking about. Like, I was just not a good enough mom for them. And Asher just kept his, like, in all the pictures, because my husband was taking the pictures and he just kept snapping. In all the pictures, Asher just kept his eyes right on me. He just kept looking at me. And I was just like, dang. He's going off to school soon.
And you told me where he's going after that.
ECU.
East Carolina University.
Mm-hmm.
What's he want to major in?
Political science.
Political science. Boy, my brother did that.
So I'm just like, because I mean, he works at a fast food place now. I'm like, everyone that goes into public service needs to work at a fast food place. You need to have that very humbling experience to know, you know what, I need to get my or whatever. So I've never worked at the closest I came to fast food was like Pizza Hut Pizza Inn. The kid worked at McDonald's or whatever, and she can make the most beautiful ice cream cone. Whenever we would go to like Golden Corral with all the kids, you look like a summer camp, honey. 4 kids and then me and the kids, like 6 up, 6, 8, 10, 12 folks by the time we get Mia and Hannah and Troy and whatnot. And when it was time for dessert, it was like, would you make her ice cream cone?
So she would do that.
And she would take such great delight in it. It was not only the beauty of the cone, but just the delight on her face with the satisfaction.
Because and especially because it was going to the delight of the kids.
Yes, but this is the kids' individual delight, though. Sometimes, like, I take delight in my children's delight sometimes. Yes. Well, yeah, sometimes. Like, sometimes I'm just like, okay, I'm done. It's like, I'm not necessarily delighted, but I'm not disappointed or whatever. And, but the kids, one that she takes delight in her own delight at times. And I'm like that as well. She got a wild hair one night. We were supposed to, when I was living in Alabama, we were supposed to spend some time like doing a dance workout together, and I was really looking forward to it. And she got a wild hair up her ass, and she decided she was going to clean out her kid's closet. And when I tell you the delight on this woman's face as she was doing that, I was just like, I didn't want to take her from it. But I eventually was like, babe, look, this is not fun for me. I want to do something fun with you. This is so it's just like, it was a humbling moment, but she didn't stop until she was done.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, when she gets focused on doing something because she delights in wanting to do it, fine. But she does not see the. She has not acknowledged that she sees the same thing in me. Because when I'm doing stuff, like, if sometimes it's not obvious that I'm delighted in it. Like when I draw, I'm delighted in what I'm doing. It is enjoyable to me. But you may not necessarily know it because my thoughts or whatever is on my mind is running across my face. But in my heart, I'm delighting because I'm creating. So, but yeah, she's she's a great mom, and I think she's caused me to self-examine how ways in which I have overcompensated or decompensated for my experience as a child and my relationship with my children. Because with kids, you can't give them enough of your time and attention.
And that's terrible. The way modern living is, and the way that society is programmed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not family friendly. It's just not.
But see, the thing that I wish that, and I have shared many a times in the hope of breaking this curse of mom guilt, that it is not, you're not a bad mom. Stop telling yourself that.
Mm-hmm.
We all are ignorant and don't know what the hell we're doing. We do the best that we can.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not a bad mom for wanting to have fun without your kids, to have time to yourself without your kids, and to do something for yourself that doesn't have anything to do with your kids.
Sure.
Because it's something that you want to do, because ultimately doing those things for yourself allows you to show up for them more authentically, because you can be humble about that. Thank you for being patient with mommy and letting her. I never saw that. So it was like, I'm a bad mom if I'm not at the beck and call of my children. And it's just like, okay, I'm still here in North Carolina. I hardly ever see my sons until they call on me or I call on them. It's just like I'm the ATM or the driver. It's just like, okay, fine. But don't get mad when I leave and I'm not available for you to have access to or whatever. So, I mean, another thing that I have to like assuage a bit of the mom guilt for. So like, okay, yes, I'm here. What actions am I taking? I'm reaching out periodically. I don't run after them because I have said and shown them as best I can, to my understanding, that I'm available to them should they need or want to speak with me. So, and I did my best to model the relationship that I want to have. And Anderson is currently the one that's reciprocating because he's got being the youngest, he cannot get enough attention. But it was very cute to see him growing in patience, trying to train this dog.
Wow.
Having to clean up dog poop. So like, whereas don't teach, experience does. So he gets to get his patience lesson now, and he's already learning lessons with his romantic relationships or and whatnot having. That's weird. But it's just like, okay, alright, it's just another expansion in life or whatever. Yes, I had to share my sons with their other mom. I had to get over that. Come to accept and appreciate that. And when I think about her, I have to remind myself of the blessing that she is. Like, she married their dad. She wasn't necessarily expecting to have 2 more children.
So has she been good with them?
Again, the best that she can be. So I'm no one to judge because I'm not there.
Yeah. So were your daughters and your sons ever in the same house together?
Oh yeah. Honey, part of the reason why I like to cook and I know how to make $1 go a mile is because I was the primary breadwinner. It was me, Crystal, Anita, Asher, Anderson, Bry, Andrew, Akira. There were 8 people in the house.
So who were the other folks?
So Andrew was Asher and Anderson's dad. Akira is Andrew's son from another relationship. Bry was my good friend that we were very close. And me and Andrew were together, and Andrew was fine for Bry to be around because Bry and I had similar interests. So Andrew didn't have to suffer through a science fiction movie when he'd rather watch Godfather or whatever gangster thing he had on replay. Like, I'm like, okay. So, but yeah, we made it work. It wasn't a long amount of time because I did not have the leadership skills that I've since been learning to have, because I was like, okay, if we had all been working together, how much better could our circumstances have been? And that's what I remind myself of when I feel challenged as far as cooperating with someone, because I see things differently than most people do, and it's through the lens of possibility and not necessarily fear. But I have my own individual fears to deal with as I'm breaking through that, but that doesn't change the way that I see possibilities.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've said that, every relationship is a polyamorous relationship depending upon your relationship with yourself. Yeah. The most important relationship that you can have is with the Most High and with yourself. And that relationship dictates your relationship with other people.
That's for sure.
So,
so I want to know how do your two girls both end up in Chicago? That makes me think you must have been living out there, but no.
No. Crystal met this, I jokingly say, this fast-talking bulldagger, but and brought her to me. They were going to go do sales and whatnot, and just from what I recall, she seemed like she wanted to go, and I was like, okay, you have my blessing or whatever, and she went and barely communicated. So when I would reach out periodically, hey, let me know you're alright or whatever. So she called me, hey mom, I'm not dead, hey, and everything. Left me a voicemail message or whatever. Like, thank you for proof of life. I appreciate it.
Was
I need your voice.
18 or something?
Yes, yeah, and but she went off to college. She started dating one of my high school friends' sons, and got mad at me because I was telling him, like, look, let her live some. Like, take your time on this, because she's been with me her whole life. She still needs to have experiences of her own. And she got mad at me. But I was not disavowing the relationship. I was actually blessing it, because I knew his mom, I knew his grandma. He comes from good folks. So and he's such a beautiful voice. He's so talented, and she's talented too. I used to love to see the look on her face when she played the viola. Oh my God!
Oh, really?
Just pure serenity. And so she stopped talking to me.
But you weren't telling her not to date him anymore.
I was just telling him that, rushing into a commitment with her, I felt like was not a good idea. That she had been home with me and sheltered and hadn't had an opportunity to have her own life experiences. Since then, she's had quite a bit. Now I'm a grandma, and
would it have been better for her to have hooked up with him than to have had the experiences she's having now?
Well, probably that was her choice, not mine.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Right.
And had I been able to convey just, hey, look, grow, both of y'all just grow together or what have you. But that was something that I couldn't understand myself in my own. My examples of relationships were not healthy relationships.
I understand that.
So, as I aspire not to emulate the relationships that I observed, it's humbling.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so then that ends up being one of the hashtags that I use sometimes when I'm It's either attitude of gratitude or not dead. Like not dead is like okay, I'm I haven't I haven't started counting the gratitudes yet. You know what I'm saying? It's just like okay, I'm alive. I have that, and then from that we can move forward or what have you. But depending upon the words that are going with it, sometimes I'll say something cheeky or whatever just to like crack jokes and lighten the mood or what have you. And she was like, "That's just," I'm like, "Hey, let me communicate as best I can." Because when I talked to my twin sister about like wanting to rap and like be an entertainer or a comedian and whatnot, like the look on her face just kind of goes blank. Like I don't see, you can do it in her face. I just think that's ridiculous. I just hear that's ridiculous in her mind.
Can do it.
Huh?
So you definitely can do it.
I can. So like I have derived a great deal of satisfaction from acknowledging like when my sets go well and whatnot. So I get to do them. I practice in between. I get to do them once a week. Like when I worked at Amazon, I got to do like 3 minutes during the stand-up meeting or what have you, just kind of cracking jokes or whatever. And so just it's worked out, and I'm like I can acknowledge like as I look back. I feel like I right now like my ancestors like you are on the right track. That's all I can hear right now. You're on the right track. You're on the right track. So I'm just like okay. I'm like where is the station? Like we're just chugging along here.
You got
like
the track. Where's the train?
Right. I'm on it. Right. I'm the kid with the freaking the hobo bag hanging on a stick or a fishing pole or whatever. So a vagabond type action. Um, but So yeah, Crystal went up to Chicago, and then when Anita began her own quasi North American walkabout, as she makes her way towards mom and shamanism, um, she ended up in Chicago when Crystal had Sebastian, and she's been there for a little bit, and then left and wandered off, and then she's decided to stay up in Chicago for now and whatnot. She likes where she's staying. She likes the job that she's doing. The company's promoting her. She's having some challenges or whatever, but it's all growth.
So do the girls see each other from time to time? Communicate?
For the sake of Sebastian, they do. Their relationship is strained because of the divine way that they separated or what have you. It was communication broke down. Crystal modeling the best she can of me as a mother, like, okay, my household needs to move. I bear the burden of taking care of everything, and I'm not going to complain to the other person that could do something about what they could do because I'm so used to doing everything myself.
Yeah.
I don't know how to ask them. I'll just be resentful towards them.
Oh no, yeah.
Until they just leave because they can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
So that is my observation based on the conversations that I've had, and again, both of them were doing the best that they could.
Yeah.
Anita ended up getting her own place. She had a friend who was like another well-trained narcissist and whatnot who, as she's complaining about her circumstances, he's like, oh, I can help you with that. And all this other kind of stuff. And so then when she's like, okay, I need to set some boundaries because I need time to myself, then you see the emotional manipulation coming into play.
So
and threatening to, they're not living together now. And so it's just like, this is the lesson coming back around to her to teach her she needs to communicate. She needs to set healthy boundaries and hold firm those boundaries and talk about the things that bother her. And also move away from people who don't honor and respect those boundaries when they start to be manipulative. So as I observe all of these things, it's my own.
How old is Anita now?
27.
She's 27 and Crystal is
30.
30.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Time goes fast, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, yeah. I'll be 50 in a year and a half, and it's just like, and that'll be long enough for me to get my 28-year-old. I no, I'm not gonna. It'll look different from my 28-year-old body because I don't want that body anymore. It wasn't as healthy as the body I have now.
Good, good.
So,
I'm glad you're healthier.
yes, that's the thing to look forward to.
How are your pregnancies and your births were they?
My so Crystal was a regular delivery. She was my biggest, 11 pounds 6 ounces.
Really? No kidding.
Yep. And oh, my children were big. Um, 11 6, 10 7, and then the boys they were born by Anita, Asher, and Anderson were all born by cesarean, but Asher and Anderson were born earlier than their full term, so they were like 9 pounds and like not quite 9.5 pounds.
So let me get this straight again. Your last three were all cesarean, is that what your
Yes.
the Crystal was?
She was in regular birth, right? Because I have diabetes or whatever, and I found out I was diabetic after Anita. After Anita, so with Asher and Anderson, like it was considered a high risk pregnancy, like from the jump. So they were just very aware and monitoring their size so that they wouldn't get too big or what have you. So yeah, and I remember being in labor because I was supposed to deliver Anita, but she ended up getting distressed. Her umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck, so they ended up taking her when I was in labor with Crystal. Nakia came to see me, and I was with her through her labor when she was 16, and I was like,
Nakia?
Yes, my twin sister. I was like, your labor was nothing like this, or at least it didn't look like it to me. Like, she had a pain threshold that I just can't particularly fathom. Like, yeah. But, yeah, and even when she delivered the twins, she was just kind of like, I'm uncomfortable. That's how she knew she was in. I was like, you're in labor. I was like, I felt it, but the labor was, and I was screaming, boy. I was screaming when I was pushing. I was pushing. I was like, ah, and they were just like, you don't shut the fuck up, trying to goddamn church me. I'm delivering a baby here. I felt like somebody was shushing me. I don't know who, but it's just. And her dad discouraged me from nursing her.
He didn't want that? Why?
That is a great question, but I was 18 and he was in his 20s or what have you, so yeah.
I was going to say something about men not knowing anything, but then sometimes women don't either.
Right, I didn't. Again, there's a lot of shame around that pregnancy, whatever, because I was a teenager, and
that's too bad.
So, but with Anita, he and I went together, and I was determined to nurse her, and I nursed the last three.
Good.
For a couple of months, because I wanted to bond with them, because I feel like I did not have the bond of like delivery like I did with Crystal.
Right.
And it's so funny. It's just like I feel like she has the lowest opinion of herself. And I was just like, I feel like I projected that onto her unknowingly, just from what I took on. Just from my lack of knowledge or what have you. So, that woman is resilient. And see, I'm got my wings up there because I want to take a picture of them. I hung them up there. I'm gonna put them up at some point. I might sell them, shoot, and make another pair. And that was kind of fun. I was just like, yeah. The firestorm of tongues and that went off in church on Sunday. At church on Sunday, when those folks come in and I'm sitting in the chair with them wings.
I don't know what firestorm was.
You didn't hear all the wailing in the hallway?
No, I didn't.
Oh my
What was,
God.
no, not at all.
There were like 3 or 4 people wailing in the hallway and praying, speaking in tongues. From after Sunday school class. During Sunday school class, they started.
Really? How did I miss that?
I was like, how could you not? Like, we walked out, we walked down the hallway past the people as they were actively praying.
I guess I'm just so used to it. No, I'm serious. I think, that's just so normal. That's just
Okay.
so normal in my
That
world.
was unusual to me. I hadn't observed it that. I had not observed that before or heard it. Like, I'm very sensitive to like raised voices. And one of the things of being afraid, healing childhood trauma is the shut up, you're to be seen and not heard.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, just the.
I don't remember that at all. Whenever that
Oh
was.
yeah. What's the one beside you caught the Holy Ghost, right? She was speaking in tongues too. But I mean, I don't know if it was. Well, part of it was the power of Bryson's message or whatever. I was just like, this. As I observe these things, I'm talking about myself. I'm judging from my own perspective. So I'm about to say something. I feel like I'm about to say something judgy. So I'm gonna preface this by understanding I know I'm talking about myself. So the power of what Bryson was talking about when he's preaching to us ever have in Sunday school class. I'm like, okay, when I see you cut a jig, you know what I'm saying, out there with Rebecca and Josh or whomever go back and forth, then like yeah, until then or whatever, I'm gonna humble you but just by leading by example. It's not necessarily intentionally, and that's part of the reason why I stood up and hey, like Jim, don't forget Bryson.
Yeah, you did. You actually complimented Bryson in the middle of the church service.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. As they're I see things, and I know what they mean, but I don't know what they mean.
Like that.
So I need to like the lady who did the thing on Sunday, the veterans dinner. I was so tired. Like after I left, I just wanted to go sit in the sun, so I left and I did. But I offered some help. I cleaned out the garbage cans that I peeped in or whatever because I didn't want anyone else to have to do that. And I offered them some help, and they were like, "No, we got it." And I felt a little dejected, so I just went ahead and left. And I was like, "How did they do that?" Like, okay, they want to serve the veterans. I'm just like, yeah. So
I'm not with you. I'm not following you.
it was 2 black ladies that were setting up the tables
Uh-huh.
and whatnot, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Who did they talk to do that?" And it occurred to me to ask them that because whoever I'm talking to try to do stuff is not receptive because I don't know, I guess I want buy-in, but I don't necessarily need it because whatever I can't do at church, I just go out into the community and do.
Yeah, people are afraid of you. I just wish that would stop, but it's the shaman idea.
Yes.
I want to know what your idea of shamanism is.
So, my idea of shamanism, like and see, because I'm a Maman shaman,
And I don't know
that is a made-up word that my daughter jokingly said when I told her I was studying shamanism. I was attending a fire circle. Yeah.
Okay.
I was studying Munaki shamanism, and they would have a fire circle where we would go out and beat some drums and pray and put stuff in fire and this kind of stuff. And I appreciated it, but it didn't necessarily resonate with me. So as I studied the aspects of that, I was out in the country in 4 Oaks, and the house that my mom left me and my twin sister had like 15 acres of land behind it. So I'd go out in the woods. I'd sit and listen to trees, and I'd pray, and I'd meditate, and I'd walk. And I'd get ideas on things to do because I was fasting. I'd create things and whatnot. I learned about essential oils,
Uh-huh.
herbs, and just examining my life and myself, the things that I know, the things that I like, the things that kind of resonate with me. Let your food be your medicine was one of those things that just like
Sure.
really stuck with me. And just understanding that not only the food, but the things that we put into our bodies. So as I'm on this kind of explorational journey of awakening to myself, I was out in the woods one day. I was just sad and lonely, and I'm looking up at the sky and whatnot, and I just kind of got this thought like, you don't have to be here. You don't have to be here. You're here because you want to be here. You can go wherever you want to go. Where do I want to go? And so I was just like, where do I want to go? So I just ended up started walking and I had a car.
Uh-huh.
Walking because I had family. I would visit cousins and whatnot, and started to get to know them. And it's just the mom and shaman part is my way of acknowledging both my parents, my mom and my dad, as whole individuals that came together to make me. I observe ancestor veneration, which is something where I acknowledge those that came before me as a part of me, and like I acknowledge a part of the law of one. Like we're all connected, and so the nature part, you know, connecting with nature, taking more of your lead from nature than from technology.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always enough. There's always enough. The thing about foraging is you get just what you need and whatnot, and that's enough. And usually it's more than enough when people come together and share the loaves and the fishes.
Yeah, yeah.
Comes to mind when I talk about that, and so it's just my way of labeling my version of wholeness,
Mm-hmm.
and like I listen to the story of Jesus' life. I listen to the actual teachings of Jesus, not just, Jesus, the name,
Right.
in the mighty name of Jesus. What did Jesus say? What did Jesus do?
Exactly.
Who wants to be? And I was like, things like, do we need another Savior? We have plenty of them, but they're tied up in fear, envy, shame, and regret because they've been taught that Jesus is outside of them. So we're always looking outside of ourselves for Jesus, but Jesus is in our heart. Once we forgive, learn to let go of the things that we don't understand, embrace the inner knowing that we're all connected, and that we can do things that are unbelievable if we believe and know that we can.
Mm-hmm.
I was there was a story about Jesus cursing the fig tree or whatever. They were like, Jesus was hangry. Jesus was a human being that had emotions.
Right.
We are kept in such a heightened emotional state that we don't appreciate ease.
Mm-hmm.
When things get too easy, we question it, and then we make it hard. When it gets hard, fear, envy, shame, and regret keep us from asking for help, which is what we're supposed to do because we are strong when we ask for help because we can receive it.
Yes.
Understanding the teachings of Jesus Christ, how they apply to me as an individual, and aspiring to unlock that level of awareness within myself on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is extremely scary to me as the person who aspires to attain that.
Mm-hmm.
Even more so because my soul knows that I'm going to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and that radiates from me even in my doubt. There's a frequency in my voice that makes people think about themselves. They want to compare themselves to me. And I am not comparing myself to them.
Yeah.
I am appreciating them, which people are so unaccustomed to. It feels too intimate because we're not accustomed to seeing ourselves. We don't see ourselves the way that other people see us. We see us the way that we see us. And other people see us so much greater than we see ourselves. Speaking from my own perspective, and I'm just like, I have a greater respect for you now, like having gotten to know you. I'm telling you, I'm like,
Oh, goodness.
I'm going to include that in my prayers and whatnot. I was like, yeah. So then Sunday, coming to the awareness about Carrie's eyes.
Yeah.
As I'm up there praying, I keep hearing, open your eyes. As I'm in the service, I keep hearing in my mind, open your eyes, open your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll look up and read the stuff or whatever, but more often than not, I keep my eyes focused higher than that. And I felt the angst, and I'm patting myself, I'm bringing myself into awareness and whatnot, and I'm like, okay, I keep hearing, open your eyes, and my eyes are just tight, tight, tight. I mean, so much so, you know when you close your eyes really tight and they kind of pinch?
Mm-hmm.
You can feel, I feel my eyes pinched like that. And I just keep hearing, open your eyes, open your eyes, open your eyes, and I'm like, okay, okay. So as I'm doing that, so I'm hearing, so I'm just like, okay, again. As I hear that, I'm examining. And so I'm asking better questions now, Lord. Help me see what I'm not seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Help. Well, thank you for protecting me from what I'm not seeing. Thank you for, like, if people don't like me, it's because their intentions towards me are not as good as my intentions towards them. And my intentions are to be myself. I don't have intentions towards them because I don't know them. I'm there to be present and to learn, and I'm inspired. I feel like I've hit kind of one of those the proverbial brick walls where I'm just like, okay, I know that I'm the only thing holding me back right now. There's nothing holding me back. So it's just like, okay, what do I need to do? And when I ask what do I need to do, I get relaxed.
How much, now this may seem like it's changing the subject, but I'm not really. I want to know how can I say this? How much of scripture are you actually familiar? How much have you read?
That's the beautiful thing. Not much.
Mm-hmm.
Like as with anything that I study, it is based on my need to use it and my awareness. So, and I've said for a while, like I maintain a level of biblical ignorance so that the learned can teach me. However, in my little number system, the number system, my numerology system, I've delivered messages and people have quoted to me the scripture.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
I was talking to, I went downtown when they set up the puppet show and sang the last time. And after a really great conversation with Benjamin, I'm going to sit and they break down and listen to the birds. I go walk to the Hebrew Israelites that are out there, speaking with the little sage burning in the cauldron and whatnot, and I'm talking to the guy. And there's two guys. Hey, hey, how you doing? Struck up a conversation. I'm like, we're gonna have to go somewhere together so you can watch me work or whatever. But it's like,
so you were talking with two guys,
and one's holding the Bible, just like
they're with the crowd of.
No, no, they were not. This is they broke down and gone. Like, yeah, I'm wandering around downtown. This is the day that I met heaven for the first time, which is such. I thought these jokes write themselves. My life is so magical, it is crazy. Because, like, yes, I meet a woman named Heaven, so I can jokingly say I found heaven on earth.
I love it.
And, like, I love her for no good. I have no reason to love her, but I do. So it's like, yeah, because she sees me and I see her. And when I share my perspective with her, she doesn't reject it, and when she shares her perspective with me, I don't reject it. I just listen and learn, and I remind myself and her, like, yeah, this is all new.
So you met him that day?
That day.
After that's
But
funny.
yeah, so backing up, I'm talking to the Hebrew Israelites and whatnot. I'm asking them, you know, what are your goals and this, that, and the third. And he was talking about getting this. He said something, and it was one of those presence moments. I just responded. I said, no, you got it. It's already yours. If you you just have to know in your heart that it's yours. And the guy was like, that's in the Bible. As I'm talking, he's like, that's Bible, that's Bible, that's Bible. And I was like, okay, thank you, learned man in the Bible. I appreciate it. You know, and then you know, I go about my merry way. Here you go. Here's my social media. Feel free to connect with me or whatever. Like, yeah, I want to do like a men's support group, like, and it's funny, as you know, as a female presenting gender non-conforming individual of color, there's something in me that's like, why would men want to come to a support group that you are involved in or what have you? I was like, because I can say stuff to them that their wife won't.
Huh. Yeah, interesting.
And I have my own perspective on the institution of marriage or what have you, but I honor commitment.
Yes.
And I have been blessed to be able to share wisdom from what I have learned from my divorce with people beginning their marriage journey. As I know I'm preparing myself for the relationship of my life because I want a partner, not a project. Like, I feel like I'm the project as it stands right now. I'm not necessarily, but I am a partner in that I have a vision of something that I know is going to be a part of my life experience. I'm not just dreaming. I'm moving forward towards something that I know I'm going to achieve. But that kind of confidence, that presence, is intimidating to the majority. So I was like, I need to be around different people. I don't know where those people are because I don't know them. Like, and I just thank you. I just need to meditate on that question. Okay, where do I need to be so that I can get the guidance to go there or what have you. But because with all the women's empowerment stuff, I'm like, men who have been brought up in a patriarchal society, they need to learn different skills. I love the fact that Jim got up and he talked about the 5 love languages, and sarcastically, that made me love him even more.
Yeah.
Because all of those things, they are just interpretations of biblical concepts. The honoring of those who labor among you. How do you do that? By getting to know them. How do you get to know them? By talking to them and actually listening. Thank you, confirmation. But there's a boop boop boop.
I'm gonna check, see who's doing it. I get these notices lots of times, and it's nothing that I'm personally involved in.
Come on now.
Any of those are personal. Alright. What time are we? What time are we at?
We are at 11:06.
Okay.
So
I don't have any big stuff on my plate today, which I'm thankful.
Have you eaten?
Yeah. Did you?
I had a bowl of oatmeal earlier, and to be honest with you, it's leaving me. I'm probably gonna grab a piece of fruit. I have this thing about eating in front of someone without offering them some. Would you like a banana?
No thanks. I
Okay.
want you to feel free to eat because I had plenty earlier this morning.
Okay. So, what I'm doing today, I've got my promotional cards together because I'm sitting Saturday for readings. The 8th of July, which is the 1 year anniversary of my sister's passing.
Really?
So, like, yeah, as that date approaches, I feel my ego really wanting to like glom onto and hold on to grief and mourning.
Uh-huh.
However, like my soul is like, look, you talk to her. You talk to her often. She's my spiritual hostess or what have you. Like when I feel her presence with me, like sometimes the conversations that I have are just so empowering and powerful. And as I'm encouraging someone else, I'm hearing that from myself. So it's just as my ego desires to get caught in a knot spiral and focus on her absence, my soul is like, I need to focus on the gifts, the presence, and the honoring of her memory. That yeah. So my art tutor at this point, because I've been the only one showing up to class.
Really?
Yeah.
So you get personal tutoring then?
Right.
That's excellent.
So and he gave me some more paint yesterday, and I almost begged off on it, but my spirit team was like, "You better not." So I was like, "Okay," and so he gave me some more acrylic paint,
Huh.
and I have like a 8 by 10 board like this,
Uh-huh.
and I painted that. You see that on the fireplace?
That lovely dream welcome.
And then the little funky, I don't know, the green and purple. I painted that
Ah, okay.
yesterday. That's like, so that looks like the pinched closed eye that I felt.
Huh.
So then I got the
Interesting.
idea.
Wow. Huh.
I got the idea to meditate on that, look at it until I can envision the eye opening.
Huh. Wow.
So yeah. Mm. So that was a thought that came to me today when I went out to pray and meditate and talk to the trees and listen to the birds sing. Oh my gosh.
That's so beautiful.
And I tell you, like, oh, there's just something about it. Like, the bird song in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Because I was outside last night late, and, you know, I was heard crickets and frogs and somebody's radio playing off in the distance and cars going by or whatever, but I didn't hear the birds singing. So, then this morning, I'm sitting here and like I hear the birds singing. I'm like, that's all I can hear. I just got hyper focused on that. It just felt so good. Miracle of miracles. George mopped the kitchen floor.
Uh-huh.
I told him when I got back from art class, the table was moved out from the wall, and I was like, all right. And I looked around, and the floor was still dirty, and he was boiling water on the stove to make mop water, and he even mopped my bathroom.
How about that?
I'm like, okay. Part of me like, probably used the toilet and missed.
Oh no.
He's been pissing off the side of the deck, and I keep thinking that it's gonna get smelly at some point. So that mop water is going to be dumped over the side of the deck on the spot that he's been pissing on. Because I'm just like, as that heat hits, I've gone away for a couple days and come back, and I don't let him know when I'm coming back because we're not in that's not the kind of relationship we have. So he's been using my bathroom. He's a if it's yellow, let it mellow kind of person. If it's brown, flush it down. And
Oh my goodness.
I go in there, my bathroom smells like a frickin' bus stop, public restroom. So I clean my toilet every day. Thank you, Lord, for a clean toilet.
Yeah, I like clean toilets. I'm not an everyday person, but I like to.
Well, I mean, yeah, I refuse to wash them.
Yeah.
Like, I refuse to wash all the dishes, but I'm just like, that's kind of one of those things where if he wasn't standing out right outside the window, and I would be able to say, I'm making an excuse now. I can ignore it. If I can ignore what's right in front of me and look above it. So yeah, like I'm a butt person, so he's standing there sticking his butt out, and I just be thinking wicked thoughts.
Oh my goodness.
So I was like, well, I'll have to sit here looking at you at the bending over, not doing anything. And I have to remind myself I got stuff I need to do for myself. So I go live. That for some reason it's not working, but the recording is, so that's cool. I still have that.
Recording?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to end it in a
So
minute.
what do you do with all of this recording?
I have the YouTube channel, and I upload about 3 videos a week on my video blog. Just talking to the camera about what it is I'm doing, what I'm excited about, and such. And I got a funky message. Oh, I was able to go live last night for a couple of hours, but I got a funky message when I went live from my phone the other day, and I do not know what I was doing, because it was like, you have to end this live in 5 minutes or you're going to be permanently banned. I'm like, what was I doing to permanently banned? I hadn't even gone, I wasn't even on 30 minutes. So I was like, I asked someone and I haven't gotten a response back, but I was sitting there eating nuts and drinking water out of my hillbilly jug. And I was like, oh, it was a big plastic jug, no less. So I could understand if it was a wine bottle maybe, but like, come on now. But yeah, looks like I'm probably going to have to like shut this down and bring it back up. It keeps freezing. So yeah.
So what do you do with your recordings?
I watch them and I upload them to my YouTube channel. I have to learn how. I am on another hard drive. I have some video editing software from my other laptop. My daughter gave me that one for my birthday in 2022, and when I was in Alabama, my brother-in-law like upgraded all of the software and like pulled out the old hard drive and put it into like a thing so I can plug it in there. But like when I was in Alabama, I did little videos with Niles. We were, you know, it felt like a little puppet show because she was just so adorable. She had her hair all slicked back in pigtails, and we were talking. My niece Niles.
Yeah, she's one of the twins?
No, she's the single birth that my sister had. She's the youngest one.
I see.
She's 10 now, but
And how old are the twins then?
there will be 17.
No.
They will be 17.
No. It can't be.
Yeah.
It's the one girl that...
You didn't see the twins. That's who I had with me when my twin sister came to church. It was her, Niles, Hannah, my late sister's daughter,
Yeah,
and Anderson.
and Hannah again is 16?
No, she's 26, 27.
Hannah?
Her and Anita are they're like 6 weeks apart. Anita was born in October, and Hannah was born in December.
So she's 20-something?
Mhm. Yeah, she's nonverbal autistic.
Yeah. Goodness, she doesn't look like she could be even 20.
Yeah, she was very young.
Well,
Cause she does.
but the other,
She has no worries.
but the one girl couldn't have been more than 10.
Yeah, that's Niles.
Okay, but she was there. She was one who was there.
Yes.
So neither one of the twins is there now.
Right.
And the twins
Right.
are how old again?
They will be 17 this year, this month,
Oh.
on the 16th.
Oh my goodness.
Nikia's firstborn was born on the 16th of the month that she was born in, not in July, but on the 16th. And Nikia's twins were born on the 16th. Niles would have been born on the 16th. I think she came home on the 16th.
Interesting.
So, I'm like, yeah, she was born like on the, I think the 9th. I keep forgetting her birthday. I know it's in January.
It's interesting how families have that kind of. My brother was born on our aunt's birthday, September 17th, and that particular aunt of mine had two sons who were both born on May 17th.
I just found out that my brother and an aunt shared a birthday, and I'm this many years old. And I was like, shoot, and that was like one thing that made me miss Mia and acknowledge whether or not I'm going to choose to take part in anything. You know, all of the things that she used to do to keep us aware or whatever, but not necessarily connected.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather that we be connected, but we're just like, we've been disconnected for so long, it's just easier to stay the way that we are.
Wow.
But,
So,
yeah.
did Mia have any other kids besides Hannah?
Yeah, she had an older son, his name is Vaughn. He lives in Raleigh.
He was in Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
So he was part of the family reunion?
He did not go to the family reunion.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't know if he's on the mailing list because I went to one committee meeting, and because I wanted to make sure to take a piece of art and whatnot to put in the book. And beyond that, I was not involved in promoting it like I did in prior years when I was involved in the committee. But I just find it very interesting that none of my family will ask me what have I been up to.
Huh.
It's
What do
like,
they think you're up to?
I have no idea. That is a really great question. I'm the Tommy of my family right now. Tommy is a character in an old black sitcom called Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Martin was the reason this resonates and it makes sense because my brother's a radio personality. Martin, the main character, the title character of the sitcom, was a radio personality. And it talked about his relationship with his girlfriend's friend, whose name I can't remember right now. His girlfriend's name was Regina. And Martin had two friends, Tommy and Cole.
Uh-huh.
Tommy always had money. He was always dressed sharply, but you never really understood what he did for a living. And Cole was just like a lovable misfit.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a package delivery driver or whatever, lived with his mom and had a girlfriend named Big Shirley. But like every time Tommy talked about his job, everybody's like, "You ain't got no job, Tommy." So it was just kind of like, yes, I don't have a job, but I'm alive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't look like what I've been through, praise God. So, like, yeah, and I understand that most people don't want to hear about the good things that are going on in your life because it makes them examine where they have good things going on.
Sure.
And when we're so focused, and it's like we are a party to it, but not particularly responsible until we just go like, I don't like this. I need to look at something else. I need to do something else. So my brother-in-law is what I lovingly refer to as the local terror expert.
The local terror expert?
One, because he was on the bomb squad,
Oh.
20 years in the military, so you can only imagine the horrible things that he has seen firsthand. So like PTSD is just the base coat on the cake of whatever all emotional he's got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Food insecurity was a thing for him as a child. And his parents, though they are still together, they did not have a healthy relationship for us to model. So, But I mean, just from my own PTSD-inducing experiences, I have compassion for him. That I know that I feel as though my sister doesn't because she has history with him. Now, the longer you know somebody, the more offenses you have, like
So this is
to
Nikia's
rack up.
husband you're talking about.
To rack up. So, and I was like, the reason I can get along with him so well is because I can forgive him for stuff that he hasn't done to me, but has has or hasn't done to her or whatever. So, in that, he has like made little comments sometimes, like my presence is my presence and it is unique. Okay, I may be a twin. We may look alike.
I don't think you look alike.
We do, in the face or what have you, but like,
See, I didn't see the two of you right side by side. I saw you coming in and with Hannah, or was she right with
She was with Hannah.
She,
Oh, no, that was me with Hannah. She came back,
you were,
right, yeah.
and she was afterwards, and then they were younger. Yeah. I didn't think you looked alike at all.
Oh, okay.
I really didn't.
So,
and
yeah.
so I thought, and I originally had, in my mind, I was thinking of you as identical twins, but when I saw you, I thought, no, they're not identical twins.
They were fraternal.
Yeah.
So, like, me and him get along, and, so, like, I don't mind getting beat in the kitchen or what have you, because I enjoy cooking. It's not about winning to me.
Yeah.
Or being better, just having a good time and experimenting.
Uh-huh.
So, in that, I'll never lose. So I just have a good time with it. Like, if I like it, I like it. I don't, or what have you. But Nikki's a little competitive in the kitchen.
Really?
Right. So, if we want to get her to
how
make
do you
biscuits.
be competitive in a kitchen? To me, a kitchen is a communal experience.
Yes.
Or ought to be.
Right. And it is. And I have great fond memories of cooking with Nikia and Mia. So now when I cook by myself, I turn some music on and dance around like a sugared up kid, and I just chop and whatnot. Nikia's thing is chopping. Like if she's got a lot on her mind, honey, she will rice some dang. She will. Here is your pre-macerated food, my love. And that's like when, like, if she, hey, you want me to make you an omelet? I'm making an omelet. You want one too? Sure, thank you. She's making it or whatever. I could tell how much she had going on by how finely the vegetables were chopped.
No kidding.
If she made them big and chunky, she was in a good mood.
I like big and chunky to eat.
So, like, yeah, but if she had a lot on her mind,
isn't that so?
Chopped really bad. So, and like, he'd say stuff, and I can't think of something that he would say. I just know that he said something that was like slightly comparative. And his jokes, he's had the same jokes. They've been married 20 years almost. They have the same joke. If I hear the same joke, if it's timed right, I'm laughing. You can tell the same joke again and again. And if that timing is good, I'm laughing. Even if I know the punchline. You get that timing right, I'm laughing.
And if the timing isn't right?
I might still laugh because it's funny. If it's funny. Like, yeah, but that's the thing with him. Like, when he makes the joke, it's appropriate to what's going on, in my opinion. So she probably has heard it so many times, she's kind of like, whatever, bristles. Yeah. But I still laugh. That encourages him. And she used to be like, don't encourage him, or whatever. And I was like, he's helping. Because when one of the disparities with them is like, he is a fixer. You tell him what a problem is, and he's ready to go get her done. He's not necessarily a planner.
Okay. You don't necessarily want a fixer. I mean, you may have a problem that you're working on, but you don't necessarily want somebody else's answer to it.
Right.
I mean, sometimes that can be very useful, but...
Right, but at times, him in his fervence to get her done, this is going to make her happy. And I teased him one day. I was like, I bet you get up some morning and you're like, good God, woman, what fresh hell are you going to put me through to prove my love for you today? But when I hear her laughing before they come out of the bedroom, I know it's going to be a good day. He's got his first win. And at that point, like, I'm free to fly or whatever. I can go in and start joking around with him because he's made her laugh first.
Interesting.
If I don't hear them laugh or whatever, I tend to be reluctant because if he makes me laugh first, then he's kind of like, she likes my jokes, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And then one time Niles was at the table. There's um, this song, hard like an algebra test, hard like a face tattoo, hard like jujitsu. There's like a little song that that Troy's my brother-in-law's name, has shared with us or whatever. So sometimes when somebody's talking about something hard, Niles would be like jujitsu. She would just have a really good time saying jujitsu, and it was so funny. And every time she did it, I would laugh because it was funny and it was well timed and everything. And like I don't care. You can say jujitsu till I get tired of hearing jujitsu, and I laugh when I think it's funny. And I just think she's adorable. So it's like me being around someone to appreciate those jokes and stuff that other folks started to take for granted. End up making I feel like a chasm or whatever between my twin sister and her daughters. Cause like I got so disconnected from. I feel the heaviness in my heart right now. Like I got so disconnected from them. Like the relationship that we had and the relationship that we had is so far gone. I don't that it's unattainable now because they're different people and I am too.
Sure. Right.
But I'm trusting that the Lord is going to do what needs to be done for us to come back together in a perfect way. And I continue to encourage Nikia to have them think about things that they're not thinking about. Naomi, the one that helps most with Hannah's care at home, like having her do something enriching for herself. Like, what does she want to learn? Where does she want to go? Is there a camp she can go to? Is there some kind of experience that she can have that's just for her for the summer, so she's not just taking care of Niles when Hannah's gone? Like, give her that freedom. And I think part of what annoys me a little bit, and I have to let go of because, like, that is their choice. I've made it known that I'm willing to communicate, cooperate, and help. But while Nikia has help in the house or what have you, she's just looking at me as, oh, you just want money. I'm like, no, I want to help. That's my niece. Her mom is my sister. Her mom is dead. She's not coming back. So you just, okay, adding her to your family is one thing, but she has another parent. She also has a brother. She has another aunt, uncles. Like, we're not, and the kid's not asking us for help. And, like, she could probably use it, but, like, she probably doesn't know what help she needs because it's just, and I don't know either. Beyond saying, hey, you didn't even want to know.
Right.
Temporary. So, but like I want to, and I was like I'm releasing some resentment yesterday in talking to her. It's just like I want to plan and build business and all this other kind of stuff, and because I know she has powerful discernment, and like for someone to have that kind of powerful discernment, they have been greatly deceived. Okay.
What do you mean by that?
So, I mean, in order to find the truth, you have to weed through a bunch of lies. So, for someone to have power, I was like, of the things that I have, discernment tends to not be one of them. Like, because I mean, I'm so open and free and whatnot, and I know that one of my self-defense mechanisms is a respectful disregard, and and that's from my inner knowing and appreciation of myself. Like I don't care what you think about me. I don't have to know anything about you to know that you're worthy of love and to treat you that way, and to do my best to honor myself and you as best I can because I don't know what you're going through, and to not make anything worse. So intentionally, now that is the word that I must add to things or what have you, intentionally. It's like there are times in which things that I am moved to do seem to be odd, and they are because they are inspired. I've said this, and like what looks like disobedience to those who do not have ears to hear, eyes to see, is true submission, because you're yielding to your heart. But what's the condition of your heart? So I have to check my heart on a regular basis. I have to check my heart on a regular basis. How forgiving am I being of myself? How compassionate am I being of myself so I can be forgiving and compassionate to other people? So these are questions that I've like learned to ask myself that I know other people don't. So I mean, at some point, the twins are going to need to go out into the world and live their lives. And like at that point, I do not particularly want the care of Hannah to fall on Niles. So here's the solution. I have to get into a financial situation that allows me to go down there and visit when I want to and leave when I want to. Like going down there can't be a source of income for me, which is why I've been working on this and going out and peopling and whatnot, and just meeting more people. And I still need to go meet more people. And
you're still in a precarious situation financially, right?
Yes, because June was a very tough month.
Yes, it was. And July is
and it's off to a start. I mean, I guess the cool thing is, I feel very positive about the interaction that I had Saturday, and I passed out about 10 or 12 cards, and had some really great conversations. So that includes from my soft sales background or what have you, I know how to sell other people's stuff. The thing that the learning that I'm applying right now is selling my own. Like, okay,
right.
Why do you need to talk to me or what have you? Because I need to give you some clarity. I need to tell you some stuff that you've probably been thinking about and shift your perspective on it a little bit. And again, don't need the cards. I don't need the cards. They're just fun. And I wandered by on my way home from the food pantry yesterday. Now on this path I go once a week, and actually it's twice a week now because I pass by the food pantry on the way to the recreation center where my art class is and where the class is that my goddaughter goes to, teaching girls to be ladies. We're talking about etiquette and modeling, all this other kind of stuff. I was like, this is great stuff. So I was telling him though, like, yeah, we need to incorporate a little bit more movement in the thing, like outside of just doing hula hoop or jump rope, just taking a break and kind of moving our body some. That will help keep the brain anyway. But I noticed an astrologer sign on that road, and I kind of pinged on it. So my intuition was like, what's that? So I was like, oh, it's an astrology sign. It's, cruise or whatever. I'll look it up, and it was like, nah, go look. So I turned around, I pull up there, and I go to the door. It's locked, and I ring the bell because the open sign is on when I pull up to the thing. And this is an astrology, whatever. And I was like, you need readers and whatnot. And she said something about I am aware of many of the things that are airy fairy and woo woo, but I know a lot about the stuff that I know about that was useful to me. So that's the inner, like, self-examination, stuff like that. Those who've been in the industry for a while would kind of acknowledge it as like chakra work, like help align somebody's chakra. I know of the chakras, but what I do is mostly, I guess, with the heart. And but I couldn't necessarily convey it to her, so she kind of gave me this look, and I asked her if I didn't have my cards, like, can I bring some of my cards for her? So if you do have someone that is looking for a reader or what have them, again, I know that this is the path that I'm supposed to be on, because all of the other ones seemed blazed already. You know what I'm saying? And this was, and so she was like, yeah, my whole family does this or whatever. I was like, if I run into another freaking royal family of, you know, people are doing, a lot of folks are doing stuff because it's a family business or what have you, but it's not their passion. It's what I do because it's what I've been around. But and you know, at the same time, they're still doing good work, God's work. I have a friend named Katie, the weather shaman and whatnot, that was talking about my experiences at the worship place, and she was like, yeah, we're all doing God. Her boyfriend, I don't know, I guess it's her boyfriend, his name is Danny, he's a talented drummer and whatnot. He was Brad, he's got some soul, he's got some Native American, like, roots in him or whatever. But we were talking, and I humble people without really even, I tell them their truth, but I was talking to her about taking on a bunch of stuff from, like, the people that I sit with. Like, sitting down to meditate with the paper helps me release that, because I'm pulling the lesson out of it. I'm releasing any other judgment and whatnot. I find that is most useful to me as a means of releasing that, because when I don't, I end up carrying it around. And then it becomes heavy, because why? It's not mine. So, but that's where the Christ consciousness comes into play. It's like knowing, hey, wait, none of these problems are mine. By worrying about it, I'm creating a problem where there isn't one. So just to remind myself and allow my inner knowing to take over, because I have had instances in my life in which I have been able to woe myself, where I'm fired up, but I'm just, I am calm, I am clear. I like, the speeding up that you've noticed or whatever, it doesn't happen. It just flows out, and that's when the inner knowing is doing the operating or what have you. As I peel back the layers of the onion, and I remind myself of my healing and whatnot, and just allow that. Yeah, and I'm, you know, creating the coloring book and working on the next iteration of my gratitude journal with the self-examination questions and whatnot. But I came across another training that talks about like 12 different areas of life to examine for like a more holistic, like relationships, your finances, your vocation or your passion, fun, community service. It's 12 of them. I have them on a thing back there, but I was just like, and you kind of self-examine, what are your priorities? What do you want? And without any of the judgment of what someone else thinks is, because like, yeah, I would like to go and live on a homestead and make freaking tinctures and body sprays out of food, which is something I can do. And I had the idea yesterday to go. I'm gonna ask somebody if they have some little spray bottles, because it's time to make some more ginger lime juice or whatever. But I add a little bit of lemongrass to that, and that's a deodorizing body spray.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
That's part of the reason why I always smell so good. So, because doing the fasting in the country, when I was wandering around, I was sweating a lot. And I was by myself, so I didn't bother to put on any deodorant. So if I liked the way that my body smelled, I knew I was all right as far as my diet.
Right.
And if I did not like the way that my body smelled, I knew that I needed to adjust my diet.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a way that I connected more with my body and my inner being.
So tell me about the spray again. It's what?
It's ginger
Yeah. You grate
and
it?
lime. I slice it up, cut it up on a cutting board, put it in a pot, slice up some lime, throw that in the pot too, and boil it.
Just boil it.
Yeah, and then when it's done, I strain everything out. And that's my first boil. That's my tea. It's got a nice, great. It's not really a tea, but it's more like a shot because it's very strong. I put it into a wine bottle, stick it into the refrigerator. When I want to have ginger lime tea, I boil the water, pour it in the cup, pour the ginger lime in there, voila. I do the same thing with turmeric and black pepper. The black pepper helps the turmeric be absorbed by the body. Turmeric is an anti-inflammatory.
Okay, but okay, back to the ginger lime. You're
Okay.
using that as a deodorant?
Well,
Or just
yes.
because you drink it, is that how you're...
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
because it's made of food,
Yeah.
I can wear it and I can eat it. Ta-da!
But you actually put it on physically as
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah. Yeah. A recipe that
interesting.
that I had of some homemade deodorant, coconut oil, shea butter. You can use cornstarch or
Probably baking soda.
arrowroot. Huh?
I was...
Right, yeah, cornstarch and baking soda, and essential oils like lemongrass and ginger. So, like, yeah, you name something, and I can probably tell you. I mean, that's for food particularly, a medicinal benefit of it, and a multiple a food and possibly a non-food way that you can use it. So there's a couple of food ways or whatever. This is part of the mom and shamany thing. My mom was not a good cook. Okay, I learned that cooking is a good thing by appreciating that my mom was not a good cook and wanting to do better. My girlfriend my first girlfriends taught me how to cook. One of my twin sisters' first girlfriends taught her how to cook and whatnot. So we learned from our relationships the things that we didn't learn at home. But to improve on the things that we saw, but we continued to do the things that we observed as far as the relationships themselves were concerned. So, but you don't know what you don't know because everybody around you is doing the same thing. It doesn't seem like it's unhealthy. You don't seem sick if everybody around you is sick.
I guess, yeah.
But if you're healed and everybody around you is sick, you seem sick to the folks that think they're healed. But the thing with me is, I'm aware of my sickness to where I need to heal, and I'm looking for it. So that keeps me humble and aware that, again, I don't know what I don't know, but that's why I go to church.
Yeah.
And anyone in the spiritual community that I work in for a living or whatever that I talk to about going to church, you should see the reaction on their face.
What is it?
Mention my name as a shaman in church and look at the face of what they say. That's what I see.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you
because shamanism is like
what it is to you.
Right. That I just explained that what I found when I started examining myself. My roots are Native American. One of my cousins was telling me the other day. I hadn't heard of it before. I know Lumbee and something with a C. Kohari.
Oh, really?
Yes. So thank you, appreciate that. But so like yeah, so my mother's father were farmers. They were very connected with the land. Like the farmer mentality has been educated away from us.
Oh yeah.
Understanding the seasons of things, the up and down of things. So I'm like, yeah, so just kind of getting more in tune with my body, myself, and nature, essentially. So like I guess the ignorant term would be a witch doctor or whatever, but the magic that I do is in the kitchen. I cook food that tastes delicious. Why? Because I intend to make delicious food and I enjoy doing it. It's not magic.
Right.
I'm not, but again, I am a kind person, not a nice person, and people tend to forget that because I am congenial, that means that I am accepting. I am judgmental, just like any other human being, but I am aware of those judgments and I'm working to right myself. So, like, yes. So but I'm highly intuitive, and the more I come in line with my inner being and shed the the story of who I was told I was, the more I come in line to who God tells me I am. And the thing is, when I listen to and what they say in the pulpit about who God says I am, I believe that. And like I said, if I was to tell you how good my life is from the inside looking out, you probably wouldn't believe me. And that's the thing that annoys me so bad, is because I believe that my life is good.
Yeah.
That I am a good person, although I can do some not good things. But my awareness is such that my aspiration is that the things that I do be in alignment with a healed heart of love and compassion. So even when I'm angry, I'm not cursing nobody's tree to never bear fruit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go grab a piece of fruit and I'm gonna eat it. So yeah. And just honoring the memory of my parents and continuing to live, learn, and grow. Like, I aspire to be a student for the rest of my life. So as I start with painting and whatnot, I was like, I'm always going to have something that I'm failing at.
Aren't we all?
And I just have multiple things that I'm failing at. But you know what? I'm failing my way to a very successful existence that is outside of societal norms.
Yeah, and society needs can be pretty difficult.
Tell me about it. So, and so
However, what's interesting is
I say, when a topic of that comes up, book a reading with her. Sit with her for 20 minutes.
sit with
Me. Sit with me for 20 minutes. Get to know her. Because an amazing amount of part of the reason why I don't need the cards is I had so much life experience that I have learned from, that I have actually learned from.
Yes.
So when people tell me what they've experienced, I have something in my lexicon that gives me understanding.
Yeah.
And
a
then
lot of people haven't looked for that in themselves or in any source. A lot of folks have not looked for that ever.
Mhm.
This,
What you got there?
I wrote it down because I was afraid I would forget it, which was a pretty reasonable assumption. I wrote down this guy's name, and let's see, it says Lee Stone King, B-O-T-T, 2000 something.
2005.
2005.
Because of the times.
Yeah, just plug it into your, I started to say GPS, plug it into your whatever.
Rabbi Google.
Lee Stone King is, he's an excellent teacher preacher.
This is gonna get me on some terror watch list, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. But no. But he actually was dead, clinically dead for 45 minutes.
Wow.
His blood had clotted and so on and so forth. All kinds of. He actually had a serious concussion because they shocked his heart so many times. His head would keep coming up off the stone floor, and then.
Oh my God.
And he actually got a concussion off of it. But so then he had. But anyway, he returned to life. His people were praying for him, and the Lord had use of him. I want you to watch his whole message. I mean, he has. I mean, it's over an hour.
Okay.
But he
I'm responding to messages now. I've looked at my phone now. I've been attacked by my tracking device.
You've been attacked.
But yeah, it's about time noon, so it's about time for me to come online.
Oh, okay.
Bear with me.
So should I scram or should I
No.
listen to you?
Yeah, listen.
How long will you be online?
Just as long as it takes me to respond to this message and punch this thing in, so yeah, it's nothing pressing.
Okay.
So
But I mean,
I'm still waiting to hear back from the guy that I've met a barber. I just cut my hair. Looks nice.
I still, my favorite is when it's all puffy.
With the, my full fro.
I love that so much.
I'm gonna wear that with the black power earrings to church one day. With I need to find something really bright, maybe yellow.
But so how long are you online? Let me ask you that.
No, I'm. When I say online, I'm talking about interacting with things because my multitasking is a lie. So I have to like break my focus on you to focus on this. I'm putting in the thing now, so that's like when I don't. It's the 4th of July. I'm chilling. Like
yeah.
Yeah. On another day, it would be more like I would need to be fixing myself something to eat a little bit. But I've got the banana, so we're good. I'm gonna get some more tea though. I want to put this in. You were telling. Okay, it's an hour long. Thank you for patience.
Probably an hour, 10 minutes, something. I don't know, a little bit more than that. But anyway, he tells about his experiences dying and then coming back to life. But he also has a lot of other things to say too. He's one of my favorite people to listen to. He grew up as an Iowa farm boy, so it's just, he seems totally different. His mother was British, his father was German, and so he has a different way of speaking than what people are used to. But anyway, I don't know. I have other things.
I'm looking for the I'm gonna add it to my watch later on my YouTube.
Okay.
Oh, I found it.
So I should just let you do what you need to do.
So no, my question is like, tell me more about these conversations in which the specter of me is a topic. I'm curious. Like,
well, just that because you talk of yourself as a shaman, and none of us have ever heard of a Mormon shaman before, so now I know more about what a Mormon shaman is. But most people's idea of shamanism is very, so a shaman being somebody who is very powerfully in control of other people and determining their outcomes through demonic means. And you know, and so that's the idea.
So more often than not, the people that come to me are dealing with some type of darkness, fear, anger, shame, and regret that's like crusted over whatever perception of themselves that they have. So a lot of the messages or the guidance that I give to people is to look within themselves and to forgive themselves for the judgments that they held on another person, and to have compassion for the person that and themselves. Okay, before you can have compassion for another person, you have to have compassion for yourself.
I agree with that.
So I show them compassion. I show them how to show themselves compassion, and I encourage them to soak it in so that they can give it to another person and let go of the judgments that they have. Why? Because that's what Jesus said to do. Right, so that's why I jokingly call it drive-through Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
That's what Jesus said.
Yeah, you have a come to Jesus meeting. Okay, what do you think your problem is? Why is that person annoying you? Okay, as you're pointing, 3 fingers, okay, what is it about you that feels that what this person is doing? Because that feeling is important. It is valid. It is an awareness, though, to look inside yourself. Okay, Lord, my passion is to serve people that cannot speak for themselves. Why? Because my voice has been shut up so long. I have a niece that does not talk. I pray that she will find her voice and she will be able to speak and communicate. Praise be. So it's just like, that is huge for me. So me being able to yell out and raise my voice in church is something that is contrary to my upbringing, but it is in alignment with my calling. So, and again, like it's scary. It scares me. It scares me a lot. However, on my walk since I left North Carolina, it has been a chipping away process for me to see my value, and along the way, I have had the honor of being able to deliver messages of encouragement and forgiveness to people who are stuck in an unforgiving place.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget when I was in Alabama, a woman was talking to me about something, and she was so attached to that, I didn't even hear her out. I said, let that go. That's not, you don't need to do that. Because she was raging about someone who had killed a family member and the children were left behind. I said, you focus your love on those kids.
Yeah, right.
The Lord's going to take care of him. Don't worry about that. You focus on the kids. She did. We ended up crossing paths, and she very loudly in the middle of Walmart, you were right.
Yeah, that's...
He got his comeuppance. Did you have anything to do with it? No, I didn't. So just like, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. True indeed. Okay? When you can. And I've explained to Carrie, and I've mentioned it a couple of times, when you, and it is Bible. It is Bible. I challenge someone to find the scripture, because I know that it's in there, that you were to do good by the people that do bad by you.
Oh,
Because,
yes.
right,
Yeah.
and forgive.
It's in Matthew.
Right.
Oh.
Because, and my thing is that people aren't doing bad by me. They just don't know me. They're judging themselves based on their own lack of understanding without taking this. And my question to myself was, am I taking steps to get to know people? I sit there after church. I mean, here lately I've been going through some emotions, and that last Sunday, that just reminded me that I need to get back more disciplined, because I do that crying by myself. I don't do it in front of people. But it's also important for me to know that I can do that. And if I can do that, I mean, it is. You know how rocks get smooth?
A lot of water running over them.
And they have these tumblers with other rocks.
Yes, true.
It's very loud. You throw an ugly rock in there and leave it in long enough, it comes smooth.
Yeah, true.
So it's just like, either way, you know what I'm saying, it loses its rough edges. You can either choose to do it the water way or the bumpy way. I'm choosing the bumpy way, but the water way is calling, huh?
I was just in the older song about the waterway.
What is the song?
I can't repeat it because I can't even remember more than just a little fraction.
The melody?
But it's an old church song. This, I need to,
Somebody's looking for you.
No, it's telling me to take a pill, but I already did.
Okay, good.
Come on. Stop, thank you.
What pill is that?
It's called Cinnamon. It's for Parkinson's. But, this thing I've been wanting to go to for a long time, except for the fact that, to me, I just don't like, there are two things I don't like.
Okay.
If I'm reading something,
Uh-huh.
I don't like the print to be very small, which this is, and I don't like it to be either light print on white paper or dark print on black paper.
Right.
Or dark print on, not black.
Yes.
For instance, I've seen Christmas things that were typed in black type on dark green paper. Well, do you want people to read it or not?
Right.
You know? And so this is light green on white, and I think this is Europe.
I gotta take it outside. I gotta take it outside and read it in natural light. That usually helps.
So, okay, I can give this to you to read, or else I could take it to the library and blow it up. Blow it up in the copy machine and make it bigger, and then you would have black on white, and it would be bigger type. Would you prefer it that way?
Let me see.
It's called the Apostles' Doctrine. It's what changed me from, because I had questions about Scripture all of my life. well, not all of them, starting when I was 10 years old, because that's when the Methodist Church gave me my own Bible. I decided, yeah, I'm going to read it all to myself, first cover to cover. And
I remember you told me that.
Yeah, I went through 18 books, and then on the 19th book, it was the Book of Job, and that was when
it was like, oh,
I put it
this
down.
is hitting home.
It was just. This explains the difference between the kind of church I go to now and the kind of churches that I had always known were full of hot air. Because because of experiences in church and then home and whatever, I had come to know that if the God that is written about in the Bible really exists, then he wasn't in my church. He wasn't in my friends' churches. He might have. I was intrigued. My favorite kids in school were all Jewish kids. Those were always my favorite friends, and I didn't choose them because they were Jewish. I just found out later on they were Jewish. It was true of my best grade school friends, my best high school friends, my best college friends, even post-college. I have just gravitated to Jewish people, and then I was attending a conference one time where somebody was talking about how DNA experts have found that people with similar DNA attract each other. Well, that's interesting. So I obviously have a lot of Jewish in me, but I've got a lot of everything in me too. So, but anyway, when I first got a hold of one of those things, it was black on white for one thing,
and you could read it, right?
It was bigger type. I could really read it, but when I read my way through it, I thought, this has answered my questions. I had so many questions. Because I knew churches were doing it wrong, but this explains a whole lot about what the apostles actually taught, what Jesus told the apostles to teach, as opposed to what so many churches say. There are a lot of things that churches just plain teach that are not in the Bible, and churches do not teach the things that are in the Bible. So anyway, I wanted you to have that, but if you want me to make a bigger book,
I can read it. And the lamp by my bed, like, it's bright enough for me to be able to see it. So, like, yeah, sometimes I rearrange my room so that, like, when I wake up, if I want to read, instead of grabbing my phone.
Okay, that's okay. And I want
Thank you.
And I'm not in any hurry, but I do want you ultimately to finish my Russia story, and I just apologize for the way that I put it together. It was like the, I don't know, 12th or 13th time I rewrote it, but because every time I rewrite it, I do it in a different way, and I almost have it to where I want it, but I still have to rewrite it by taking a whole lot out of what's in the first few pages and putting it back where it used to be, where it was all chronological. I mean, it is chronological. It's just I pulled part of the chronology out of the back and put it in the front. It really needs to go back there.
Okay.
But well, go ahead. I need to leave you because I need to let you do your stuff. I know I need to let you do your stuff.
Yeah, but I need to figure out how to get this thing to